Hello and welcome to the third and final part of my Merry Christmas 2018 Blu-ray update series, the HMV Big Sale. Yeah, so I got quite a bit of Christmas money and had about a 20-minute window to go into HMV to see what they had, and I heard they were having a big sale. And went online and saw some pretty damn good prices on the online HMV store. So I screenshotted a lot of stuff, things I wanted to kind of see if they had in store. And so went into Cardiff, right into HMV, and was looking for all these different things, like scanning it like Terminator, and finding, you know, the certain titles that I wanted. Some of them I didn't. The main one that I went in for, the number one priority, was Game Night, which was down to $6.99, and I completely forgot about it, and I'm kicking myself for it now. But I did actually end up grabbing quite a hefty stack of Blu-rays. So the Christmas money went to very good use indeed. And before we get to that, as always, I seem to throw in these random things. So over the past couple of weeks, I've picked up 3 DVDs from Poundland, and I wanted to show them to you. So the first one is The Fast and the Furious. Now, why would you get this, I hear you ask? Well, for one, it's in widescreen. I don't see that very often these days, do you? So I wanted to experience it in full widescreen goodness, in standard def. But this was one of the very first DVDs I ever got. I went to see this film in the cinema when it came out, loved it at the time, and when it came out on DVD, I bought it and was just like poring over the extras and stuff, and it's nothing incredible, but it was just one of those, like, I don't know, it was exciting. So it reminds me of that time, so I wanted to kind of get it and maybe pop it in one day and look at some of the extras and stuff and whatnot. But, it's just one of those kind of nostalgic things. For £1, I just thought it was, it was kind of fun to pick it up. And the same can be said of this film, which was another one of my first DVDs ever, and it is Ed TV. I don't even know if this film has a Blu-ray release. It might do. But regardless, this one is loaded with special features too, including a very good audio commentary from director Ron Howard. But I love this film. It's really, really fun. It's kind of like it's Truman Show light, or kind of it's kind of like the Truman Show if the guy realized what was going on, and much more of a comedy as well. Love Ellen in that film, actually. And then finally, I grabbed Reservoir Dogs, which I recently reviewed, but you won't be seeing it for at least another couple of weeks, at least. And the reason I picked this up is because it has an audio commentary with Quentin Tarantino, producer Lawrence Bender, and selected cast and crew, which I do not believe is on the Blu-ray, at least the Blu-ray I own. So, purely bought it for the audio commentary. And that is that. So, onto the HMV Blu-rays, what you're really here for. These are in absolutely no order, actually. They're kind of all jumbled up. But I bought quite a few from the sale. I got 5 in the 5 for $30. And I got 2 films at full price. And I got 3 films for the discounted prices. So let's dive into it. Again, in no real particular order. This was in the 5 for $30. It is Park Chan-wook's Lady Vengeance. Now, I know there is something called the Vengeance Trilogy. I know this is in some ways linked to Oldboy, but I think only kind of spiritually. And considering how dark some of these films are, perhaps the word spiritually isn't quite appropriate, but it says, following the hugely successful Oldboy, Lady Vengeance is another showcase for the extraordinary talents of Park Chan-wook. So this has the making of and some featurettes and trailers and TV spots, but it's mainly just Korean films. I really need to get into Korean films and dive into them a bit more, because every Korean film I've seen has been pretty damn outstanding. They know how to make good films, and Oldboy is a pretty damn good one. So from the same director, I'm all on board for kind of giving this one a shot and seeing what it's all about, and I'm fully expecting something fairly fucked up. These are 2 new releases from 88 Films, with some very nice slipcases indeed. Like, these aren't just kind of nice slipcovers as far as the artwork, but the feel of it has a nice textured feel to it, at least from what I can feel underneath the cellophane. And this film is Dragon Fist, starring Jackie Chan. So when was this actually released? It says 2010 Fortune Star. Doesn't actually give you the release date of the film. Oh yes, 1979. So an early Jackie Chan film. So very intrigued to check this one out. I recently picked up Hand of Death. I have the Eureka box sets they put out. So really going all in on the Jackie Chan stuff. But I just love the artwork. It's just absolutely stunning. Trying to get kind of semi-good lighting on that. It's just really, really cool. So yeah, and it's, you know, I'm not expecting a masterpiece by any stretch, and £10 I think is a fairly good price, and there's quite a few special features on there as well, from a brand new 2K restoration. So I'm just swimming in Jackie Chan films at the minute, and I got another one to go along with that, and this one is called To Kill with Intrigue. This is from 1977. We actually see a long-haired Jackie Chan, obviously in some kind of wig. If you've seen these films, please let me know what they're like. Again, not really expecting too much from them, but you know, I saw these a week or two ago in HMV, and I just thought, I really want to get those. So now I had the Christmas money. I thought I would kind of pull the trigger and check these films out and see what they're all about. As I said in the last update, I really do see a martial arts kind of education on the forefront of my movie watching. This one was one of the sale items, down to $3.99. We have Sunset Boulevard. Now this was in the 5 for 30 deal for years, I think. So you could get it for kind of £6 basically. So $3.99 is a steal. I already own this. It's right here actually. I can just pull it right off the shelf. This is from Germany, I think, or at least from some European country. It is Sunset Boulevard, the digibook. Really, really nice embossed title treatment. Just gorgeous stuff. Actually, if I just look at the text inside the book, perhaps this will clue me in. Yes, definitely German. So, really, really nice release. But it has no extras. I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought it would be one of those things where, you know, a studio release would have the same disc worldwide. But it didn't. And if you look on the back of this Blu-ray, so many special features, and this is just one of the best films I've ever fucking seen. So I want to get all the documentaries. I want to, you know, there's a deleted scene in high definition, there's script pages, there's like all sorts of looks back on the film, and recording the city of, the stories of, the two sides of Mrs. Swanson. I had to grab it, and I don't know if I'll swap the disc out or whatever, but £4 to get all the documentaries for me is fine. I always intended to pick this up at some point just to get the special features. Next we have 3 Disney titles, and I have to say I really wanted that new box set they put out, which is like £250, like the 1938 I think to 2018 or something like that. So it kind of goes from Snow White, or 1937 I think was Snow White. Anyway, from Snow White up to Ralph Breaks the Internet. There's like a space in there to put the disc for that movie once it comes out on home video. But one of the films is not in high def, and it doesn't include all of the Disney films because the UK canon is different than the US canon when it comes to the Disney classics, which just seems weird to me, kind of put me off of it. And at the same time, I already own a lot of the Disney films and kind of just decided to pull the trigger on these because they were fairly cheap. Every Disney Blu-ray was 20% off, and they were kind of cheap-ish anyway. There was a time when Disney films used to be like £10 at the very cheapest ever. You know, usually you're paying like £15 to £20. So to see some of them for like £7, £8 with 20% discount, I thought I'll grab some of these. 2 of them I haven't seen. 1 of them is an all-time favorite. So the first one is Lilo and Stitch. And I'm not really the biggest fan of these overly shiny fingerprint magnety slipcovers. They're kind of cool, I guess, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I want to get all of them now. And I don't really like them enough to want to hunt all the slipcovers down, nor would I even really care to put that much money into it anyway. I'm not sure if the artwork on the inside... Oh, that's a much better P. I love that. Really nice, colourful poster art there. So, Lilo and Stitch, never seen it. This is from the era where I must have been... Let's see, what year did this come out? Does it say on the back? It does not. But I believe this came out around the time where I just wasn't into Disney whatsoever. So, looking forward to giving this one a look at some point. This one, actually, I'll switch it around. So this is another one I haven't seen. It is Mulan. People really hype this film up and talk about it like it's one of the best ones, and so I'm kind of really intrigued to check it out, I have to say. And this one, I think, came just after the time I started to tune out from Disney films. So it's one of those ones which I just completely missed out on. Number 36, and at least in the UK canon. And this one also has the original artwork. And something that I found early on when I was collecting the Disney films way back in 2011, when I started collecting them, is that getting all the slipcovers was impossible, and I just started throwing them away or giving them away to people because I just kept them all slipcoverless. So I might end up throwing these away, or if someone wants them, perhaps, I don't know. They're nice, but I kind of like the artwork on the inside, really. And this is the one that was a childhood favorite of mine. Oh my god, I can't wait to revisit this one. It is Basil the Great Mouse Detective. Oh my god, I love this film so much. And I barely remember it now, so this is going to be really weird to revisit. It's probably going to remind me of a film like Dumbo, where watching it again feels like I'm watching a film that I watched when I had a concussion, because it just doesn't seem real. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that, but not this. What is this? Like, it's just a very strange experience to watch something and love it as a kid, and then as an adult, like some 20 odd years later, revisiting it, and it's kind of like its own film again, a whole new film again, I should say. So this one has hardly any special features, unfortunately, but man, this one doesn't have like a nice kind of original poster or anything. It's just the same old artwork. But yeah, anyway, I can't wait to revisit this at some point and see what it's like all over again. I'm a lot more excited to revisit it than to see those other two, that's for sure. I will, yeah, I was thinking like trying to rearrange it and kind of put it in order a little bit, but we'll just go from where the stack is. We'll play it as it lies. What's that term again? It's 2:30 in the morning. God knows, my brain is all over the place. Let's get this thing done and power through these last few. This one is a film from 2017, I want to say. Yes. I think it kind of came out end of 2016, beginning of 2017. Or maybe it was the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018. Actually, that's probably more accurate. Regardless, it is a film that had a bit of an awards buzz. I don't think it really won much, or if anything, especially not the Oscars. But it is the latest film from Sean Baker, who did Tangerine, which I thought was quite impressive for what it was. Wait, did he? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Because, yeah, there's a scene at the end of this that is shot on an iPhone. Tangerine was shot on an iPhone entirely. And I didn't like how the end of this one was shot on an iPhone. It just took me out of it, to be fair. But the film was incredible, and it is the Florida Project, and it is £2.99, £3. This is almost getting to Poundland prices. I have to say HMV have done a good job with this sale, because I've never seen them sell stuff like this. That's pretty much a new release for that cheap, £2.99. And this has a making of and some cast interviews and bloopers. Willem Dafoe is fantastic in this, but also Bria Vinaite, I don't know how you pronounce that, and Brooklyn Prince as the mother and daughter of the film. Just a kind of, it shines a light on characters that just don't ordinarily get their own movie, you know? It's just a really intriguing film, and just has some beautiful kind of coming of age elements with the young kids, and also a kind of heartbreaking look at this young woman who's trying to kind of provide for her young daughter with practically nothing with which to do that, except for her body, basically. And Willem Dafoe as this kind of compassionate owner of the motel, and not really going into the story too much, but it's an excellent film. I highly recommend it. And back to the 5 for 30 stuff, I have a Yasujiro Ozu release from the BFI, Late Autumn. Really difficult to keep track of these. There's like early spring, late autumn, an autumn afternoon, early summer. I think there's like so many different seasonal related Ozu films as far as the titles are concerned, at least. This also comes with the 1934 film A Mother Should Be Loved, which I'm assuming is a silent film. because I'm pretty sure his films from the 30s are silent. Really nice, heavy release. It's got a nice thick booklet. And yeah, so Ozu, I'm quite a big fan of, purely from Tokyo Story, another director I need to get into. I really enjoyed his 50s version of Floating Weeds, but some of his more acclaimed stuff, like this film, I believe, maybe An Autumn Afternoon is the one that's like the big one, but yeah, I need to get into more of his films, and I really plan to deep dive into Ozu probably in 2019. Another sale release, which when I was buying all of these, the guy selling it to me was like, oh, it's like painful because he bought this full price when it came out, and it's now $2.99. It is the recent animated film Loving Vincent. A stunning piece of work. I don't think as a film it works as well as it should, as well as much as I want it to, the story itself, and I think a lot of the colors and the style of the artwork is not the best at times for the majority of the film, but there are some black and white sequences in this film which are some of the most stunning sets of imagery I've ever seen in any film. The black and white scenes are just incredible. If you don't know, you probably know already. This is a film that is comprised entirely of actual paintings. Every frame is literally a painting done in the style of Vincent van Gogh, and it follows kind of like the last days of his life, and also gives you kind of some backstory and stuff, and it's just an amazing piece of work. 65,000 hand-painted frames. Unbelievable. I only wish the story had been done a little bit better, but you know, I think it's a film I need to go back to, and it's just it's an absolute wonder of artistry, I have to say. And the guy who sold it to me said that it's got some really good special features on the making of, so I'm looking forward to checking that out really a lot as well. Like the behind the scenes on that, I'm all in on that. So yeah, I think there's two more from the 5 for 30, including this one, which is an artificial eye release, 120 beats per minute. Kind of a blind buy, this one, but I've heard very, very good things about it on various podcasts, actually, and a couple of YouTube videos. It's a French drama, I believe, and so it's from 2017, and it's one of those ones where I kind of vaguely know what it's about, but I just want to kind of put it on, not really think about the plot too much, and just be surprised. And I have a feeling I'm really going to like it. If you've seen it, please let me know what you think. Same can be said for any of the films I talk about in these videos. But it had a lot of great reviews, and I thought I would give this one a shot and throw it in with the 5 for 30. That was the kind of the fifth one, basically. I got 4 that I wanted, and then I just threw that one in because I needed one to kind of round off the deal, so they all cost £6 each. Now we have another sale item. This one I really loved from this year, and I really want to revisit it. I'm just kind of really excited about the prospect of returning to this film. Down to $6.99 we have, from Paul Thomas Anderson, the Phantom Thread. You get kind of the impulse to say the Phantom Thread, but it is purely Phantom Thread. The slipcover is really beat up, like it's really just kind of, but it was the only one in the store that had a slipcover, and I thought, why not? But it does come in a clear case, which kind of just makes me feel like it's a bit classier, you know? But I don't know if I'll just bin the slipcover, actually. I don't know, I'm not sure yet. I might just deal with it and try and deal with all the other dings in my collection and not be too precious on the mint condition of my Blu-rays. But this is an incredible film that has really stuck with me, and more than quite a few other films that I would call favourites of 2018, I've wanted to come back to this one, and it is stuck in my head a little bit longer than a lot of the other ones that I would call a favourite. So very, very intriguing and mystifying drama about this dressmaker, very enigmatic character played by Daniel Day-Lewis, and made all the more captivating by the fact that I have never seen another Daniel Day-Lewis performance than his performance as is it Woodcock? Reynolds Woodcock in Phantom Thread. That's right, I've not seen My Left Foot, I've not seen Last of the Mohicans, I've not seen Gangs of New York, I've not seen Lincoln, I've not seen anything that Daniel Day-Lewis has done. I haven't seen There Will Be Blood, but I've seen Phantom Thread, and I got utterly lost in this character, and what a film. Really excited to maybe try and get Connie to watch that one. Oh, and I'm getting really tired now because I filmed a lot of videos in a row, so 4 more to go. This one I was going to get anyway at some point, and £5 seemed like a good deal to me, especially with a nice little slipcover. We have Alien Covenant, so that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed Alien Covenant. The first time I saw it, I was so hyped for it. We went to the Alien Day screening of the original Alien about a month before this came out in 2017. And at the end of Alien, they showed us a 10-minute sequence from Covenant, which was really, really cool. And so I was so excited for this film, and it was just so depressing. Like there was real elements of Alien 3 to this, as far as how just dour it can be. Just absolutely gut-wrenchingly. Oh my god, I'll leave that one in for free. Gut-wrenchingly harrowing, and I'm thinking specifically of the Elizabeth Shaw scene. If you've seen the film, you probably know what I'm talking about. That was just like heavy stuff, and it's such a gothic film as well. I don't know, there's just something really uncomfortable and uneasy about some of the locations in the film. It's just really eerie movie. As far as a horror film, I think it's great in that sense. And you get some really interesting interplay between the two characters Michael Fassbender plays in David and Walter. And what a performance, It's a shame people find some of that stuff funny, when to me it's utterly kind of captivating and, I wouldn't say scary, but unnerving, Just really interesting stuff. I think it's kind of an underrated film, actually. It does devolve towards the last third of the film into a bit of a greatest hits of Alien movies, and I think Ridley Scott kind of lost himself a little bit there. But I wanted to see the conclusions of this. I wanted to see that third film of the story to round off the kind of the David story, I think. So it's a shame. But this one has a commentary with Ridley Scott and some features and small documentaries, nothing to the degree of Prometheus, unfortunately, or the other Alien films. I really would have liked to have seen one of those big 3-hour documentaries, but for £5, I was glad to buy this. And as I was kind of saying, the first time I saw it, it was just so depressing that I thought a little bit negatively on it. And then I went to see it again, and I enjoyed it so much more. I've now seen it another time, so I really do like it. Not as much as Prometheus, and of course nowhere near the original 2 Alien films, but it's one that I really, really like. This one I got the book for from a charity shop recently. Started reading it, quite enjoying it, but hadn't really stuck into it properly yet. It is The Girl on the Train. £4, I thought I'd give it a shot. I really like Emily Blunt. I like these kind of mystery stories. I will read the book before I get to this. I heard middling things on this one, though, so it might be one of those films where people are now shouting at the screen like, no, you shouldn't have spent money on that dog shit, but yeah, I thought I'd give it a shot. In the 2 more from the 5 for 30, actually, I will show you this one first. This is a film from one of my favourite directors, so I thought, I'll add that to the Joe Dante collection. And it's nowhere near, his best work, but it's a film I grew up loving, and it is Small Soldiers. Love this film, so much fun. We get these toy soldiers and these toy alien creatures, and this little mini war that they've got going on, and this young boy who discovers these toys when they weren't supposed to be shipped out to stores, and these toys have been imbued with life, basically. Makes you think of Toy Story in a way, but it's where the adult child actually is aware of them. And Tommy Lee Jones is great as Chip Hazard. And it's a really good cast, actually. Phil Hartman in this one, Kirsten Dunst. And I'm sure we must have the Dick Miller. Dick Miller, yeah, of course he is, yeah, because I'm thinking Joe Dante. Dick Miller's in all of his films, pretty much. He does make an appearance in this. But Small Soldiers, I really love this film from when I was a kid. Looking forward to seeing if it holds up. I think it kind of will. And Joe Dante, one of my favorites, so I had to kind of add to my Joe Dante collection. I think I have, obviously, the 2 Gremlins movies, The Burbs, absolute standard, and Inner Space, and Matinee I have. So, yeah, I wish Joe Dante was still making movies, I really do. And finally, the last film that I picked up with a really nice kind of textured slipcover, though it has kind of a tear on the side, which really bugs me now that I've seen it. It is the recent film from Paddy Considine, Journeyman. And this goes nicely with his first film, Tyrannosaur, which I also bought on Blu-ray when it came out. I'm a big fan of Paddy Considine as an actor, and as it turns out now, as a director, I think he tells pretty hard-hitting stories, and this one is no different. No pun intended. He plays a boxer who gets brain damage, basically, and so this artwork here is really incredible, because you see his face, but you see this kind of, it's symbolizing his brain and what's kind of growing inside it, and also what is perhaps dying inside his brain. And I saw this in a really small art cinema in Cardiff when it came out, and it took, it was just one of those, like, out of the way for me to get to, but it was so worth going. And a really intimate screening, maybe about 10-15 people in the room, everyone kind of wrapped attention to the story, and just really emotionally hard-hitting and powerful. And yeah, there were bits of it a few things I didn't like. I think that the performance from Paddy Considine is stellar. Maybe even better than that is Jodie Whittaker as his wife. I think she really centers the film. And if only she was in it more, perhaps I would say that she is the star of the show. But he really anchors everything, and his heartbreaking performance is this guy who's really losing everything by the fact that he has just become mentally handicapped, basically. And it really just shows you the ugly and horrific side of boxing, and of the dangers of head trauma as well. So not a fun film, not one to put on over Christmas. I'll leave that in for free. But a film that I absolutely had to have in my collection. And it has an audio commentary with Paddy Considine, which I'm looking forward to checking out at some point. So that was the big stack of HMV
Big Sale
pickups. Really happy with the very varied selection. They got like Jackie Chan martial arts films. We got a Korean, probably heavy kind of thriller. We got classic Hollywood, we got Disney movies, we got new films, we got animation, we got Japanese film with Ozu, French film, an alien movie, a kids movie, a mystery movie, sports movie, yeah, all sorts of stuff. So, very happy with all those pickups. And I'm tired of talking about Blu-rays and movies now. So I'm going to go to bed at this point in my current timeline. But in your current timeline, leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of the films I picked up. Your thoughts on any of them, as I've already said. Just repeating myself at this point, so thank you for watching. Once more, hope you all had a good Christmas and got some cool films. And more importantly, spent some nice quality time with the family. I know I did. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I'm almost falling asleep now. So I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans and calling into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.